I appreciate you doing this. I did see the movie, of course. As a matter of fact, I saw it twice because I enjoyed it that much.
Good.
Yeah, well, the first time I watched it for content. And the second time, because I knew I was going to be talking to both of you, I wanted to actually watch the two of you specifically to see how you interact. And that was actually, oh, why did you look at each other? That's funny.
Because I'm in love with her, and I'm sure it's quite
We're
obvious.
we like each other a lot. I
It's
feel
kind
that
of
one of the
rough.
greatest things for me about book club is that I
Yeah.
got to know Mary. She is an incredible human being. She's a magical human being. I feel so lucky. Anyway, we're glad you liked it. That's wonderful. We did too.
Yeah.
I think the secret in our friendship, speaking
Yeah.
from my point of view, is from the minute I knew her, I knew her. Like, I feel like I didn't know the little girl Jane, but I sort of do. And I feel like I know her throughout time. I do. Yeah.
That's lovely.
She's very,
And she is the person that I aspire to be like. Although
Wow.
I'd have to go back in time because she's a good 10 years younger than me. But
This is
Yeah.
mutual respect. This is good. This is a good thing. What I liked about this film, many things I liked about this film, is that it's a feel-good movie, and I don't think we have enough feel-good movies out there these days. That little gesture tells me that it was a feel-good movie for you too.
yes, plus we were in Italy. I mean, the meals, the drinks, the laughs, the sights that we saw. And I think the movie shares that so generously. There's no stock footage in this movie shot, purchased like some movies do. Every bit of this was our fabulous Italian crew.
and the director, we worked hard. Okay, the hours were long and it was very hot. And then on
Yeah.
weekends, our director would go out with the crew and film, the visuals of all the beautiful places. So he worked 7 days a week.
I know, Bill Holderman.
And he's a total angel. He never lost
is.
his temper or anything.
He was amazing. He's very patient with us.
I like the idea that this movie communicates that you don't lose the feelings, you don't lose the fears, you don't lose anything that's going on inside after 30. It keeps on going, and how you feel at 50 or 60 or 70 is how you felt when you were 25.
Or better.
That-
I'm sorry, better. I've been to all the places that we went to in this movie. I've been to them in my 20s
Yeah.
and my 30s. It's way better now.
Because it
That
meant,
makes sense,
it
because
meant
It
you're
means
sensitive
more.
to it.
I am more present. When I was in Venice now, I was in Venice. I wasn't worried about, am I going to be, will he still love me when we're in Venice? I always went with men, husbands. Am I going to be able to be entertaining enough? And am I thin enough? I mean, all those stupid things that we spend so much time worrying about. And now it's just, God, this place is beautiful. Oh my Lord. And really just not getting in Venice, just paying attention to Venice, which I didn't do when I was young.
Yeah.
Do you know? What about
yeah,
you?
I totally do. And when we're in a boat on the Grand Canal and we're oohing and ahhing, it is the four of us, ourselves, that are oohing and ahhing at this miracle that is Venice. It's so improbable that it even exists. And, it's supposedly, very fragile. I'm sure it is. And so just the honor of going and making a film about it and being there, it was just so crazy. And that was true on this film, where for all of us, the film was sort of a film and it was sort of like this weird paid vacation that we got to make with our best friends. It was both.
And when you weren't filming, did you pal around? Did you go sightseeing together?
Yes.
Did you go sightseeing separately?
We all went to Florence. There was one long weekend, and we all went. Yeah, it was Candy, you, and me.
Diane couldn't come.
And Diane
but
couldn't
yeah.
come, and we all spent 3 days in Florence, and it was divine.
Oh, I bet. The first one hit all of the buttons it should hit. The second one, I assume all of you said yes so you could all play together. That's the other thing. What was it that made you say yes other than that?
When I was a young woman in the 70s and that's when I started my career in 77. I made my first film. And I got to meet, especially through my friend Roddy McDowell, I met actresses who were a generation ahead of me. And for a lot of them, they were no longer being offered anything. They weren't working. And it was just such a priority on you were young in your 20s, and that's what your worth was, and then after that you weren't important to the business anymore. And I love that Bill Halderman and Aaron Sims wrote a film in the first place about 4 women who are not young, who are not talking about how much of a geezer they all are, but they're just enjoying life and going for things that scare them and taking chances. And then he wrote a second one and put it in Rome, and so for me that was just, it was important that I have 3 daughters and I don't want them to feel like their 70s are not going to be fantastic.
What about you, Jane?
Honestly, I just said, however, I want my hair and makeup team to come there. And
Yeah.
they did.
Oh, yeah. If I had that option, I would do that all the time, too.
Well, they're amazing and they're fun, and they went to Florence with us too.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of fun, I have to say that the whole scene of you trying on wedding gowns was so much fun to watch.
Everybody
So
loves
much fun to
that
watch.
scene. I love that.
What was it like filming that? Was it just a fun moment of being girls?
I think we were blown away by the set. That set
Oh,
was
yeah.
so stunning, and the art direction of it and the detail of it. We walked in there and we were like little girls oohing and ahhing. It was really beautiful, in a beautiful old building with very high ceilings, and it was just, and the Prosecco, we actually.
Yeah, we were drinking Prosecco.
That helped, right?
Yeah, that day we cheated.
2 things I learned to love while I was in Italy, 2 of the things. One was Prosecco and the other was Wordle.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
never done anything like Wordle in my life, and she and her husband convinced me to start doing Wordle, and now it's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning.
I know, us too.
Think about you and Ted and do Wordle. By the
What
way,
do we
yesterday
think
I
of?
got it in 1.
You did?
Yeah.